Morning. How are you? Today, before starting the lesson, I want to discuss the latest things which are happening in lockdown and all. By May 17th, lockdown will be completed. Then the central government is thinking about how to come out from the lockdown and all. So, did you remind when are the first lockdown imposed in March 26th by the Union government? It gave some exemptions to the different activities. What was the first activity which got exemption from the central government? Yes, you are right. Agriculture. Agriculture and pharma sector, pharma industry, these two got initial exemption from the central government. Why only agriculture get its first priority by the union government? Because in end of the March means in most of the regions it was a harvesting season during Rabi season. So that's why union government gave some sort of exemptions to the agriculture sector. Yes, your guess is correct. Today's lesson is agriculture. Agriculture is the word which is derived from two Latin words. Those are ager and culture. Ager, A-G-E-R, ager means land or field. Culture means cultivate the crops. So it literally cultivate the crops by using the land is known as agriculture. Come to the complete definition. The science and art of producing crops and livestock for economic purpose is known as agriculture. So our lesson is agriculture in India. So in India, agriculture sector is very much important to us because still more than almost 50%, 49% of people who depend on either agriculture or its allied activities, that means primary sector. Of course, in our textbook it gave that 2/3 of the people who depend on agriculture, but you correct it, it is 49% because in sectors of economy we learned that in 2013-14 the people who depend on primary sector was 49%. So that's why it is important sector. And agriculture is providing food to almost 140 crore people of our country. That's why it is important. And it is providing not only food to all the people, it provides raw materials to the industries, especially agro-based industries. And India is getting some handsome foreign revenue from the exports of agriculture like coffee, tea, spices, etc. So that's why agriculture sector is very much important in our country. So today we are going to learn about agriculture and different kinds of agricultural practices in our country and what are the principal crops which we are cultivating and what is our position and all. And before going to the lesson, I hope you all completed your class works of wildlife, natural vegetation and wildlife, which is geography second lesson, and water resources, third lesson of the geography. Especially who are writing your classworks in your classwork book, you have to complete those two lessons and start the agriculture lesson. If have any pending, either in second lesson or third lesson, simply you leave some of the pages, you count approximately, leave those pages and start your classwork of agriculture lesson. Okay, so let us learn about more about agriculture with the help of textbook as well as a PPT. So, agriculture in India. So, already we know that, so it is very much important, agriculture sector. Agriculture sector is very much important in our country because it is providing essential food to all the people and it is providing raw materials to all the countries. And India is the second largest producer of agricultural produces in the country next to China. Of course, the population also our place is second only. In this way, we are the second largest producer of agricultural products, and we have 1.4 million square kilometers of land in India under cultivation. So it provides employment is already we discussed somehow 49% of people who depend on agriculture. And come to types of farming. How many types of farming are there in our country? Based on technology, what we are using, and based on its technology, physical environment, characteristic features, we classify the agricultural practices into three. Those are primitive subsistence farming, intensive subsistence farming, commercial subsistence farming. So these are all the three types of farming. And what basis we classify the agriculture into three here? Based on its physical environment, technology as well as characteristic features. That means what kind of inputs which we are giving and what for what purpose the farmers are cultivating, as well as its inputs, what kind of inputs which we are giving to the agricultural fields. Based on all, we classify the agricultural types are three. That means the types of farming are three: primitive subsistence farming, intensive subsistence farming, as well as commercial farming. Let us discuss about these three types of farmings. So come to primitive subsistence farming. So primitive subsistence farming is mostly practiced in hilly and mountainous areas, especially in remote areas of our country. So especially hilly areas as well as in forest, midst of forest and all, mostly tribal people who cultivate this type of cultivation. So here what they do? So in primitive subsistence farming, people who select a patch of land, a piece of land, and they clear the land by burning the trees. What they are doing? Simply they are selecting a piece of land and they are clearing the trees by burning it. And then they use some primitive tools like hoe, dough, and digging stick. So, what are the digging stick? We know. So, they use the digging stick to sow the seeds. And hoe means generally what we use now. In our local language, we call it as a para. And dough means like a sickle, kodavali. So these are all the use, and that means they won't plough the fields. They are using the digging stick to sow the seeds. They are not ploughing either with the help of tractors or the help of animals. Simply they are clearing the trees by burning it and sowing the seeds with the help of digging stick. And they completely depend on monsoons, rainfall. That means there is no irrigation facility. And they won't give any inputs like manure, fertilizers, as well as pesticides. And mostly these people cultivate cereals like jowar, ragi, bajra, or other small pulses and all. Their main objective is to cultivate the crops for their self consumption, not for the market. So in this way, they cultivate the land without giving any inputs like manure, fertilizers as well as pesticides. They completely depend on rainfall. So that's why naturally these people may choose rain-fed crops like jowar, bajra, ragi and some other pulses, and that too for their self-consumption, not for the markets. So in this way they produce the crops for some of the couple of years by using its natural fertility of the soil. So when our land loses its natural fertility, so naturally yielding also will decrease. That's why these people will leave that particular place and they go and select in another place. They're also the same. So that's why the primitive subsistence farming is also called shifting cultivation. That means here people are shifting from one place to another place. Did you understand? Here, see once again. Here, this primitive subsistence farming is practiced in few places in our country, especially in hilly terrains, mountainous areas, as well as um, the tribal people where they live. So these people, first of all, they select a piece of land and they clear the land by burning the trees. And later they use some primitive tools like a digging stick as well as hoe as well and dough like that. So and they cultivate for themselves, not for the market. They completely depend on monsoons and they won't give any inputs like fertilizers, pesticides and all. They depend on natural fertility of the soil. So they cultivate the land for few years. So whenever that land loses its natural fertility, these people will leave that particular land and they go to other place. That's why this cultivation there again the process is the same. That's why this primitive subsistence farming is known as slash and burn cultivation. There is burning the trees now. That's why it is called slash and burn agriculture, and it is also called shifting cultivation because here people are shifting from one place to another place. Whenever the land loses its natural fertility, these people may shift to other place. That's why this cultivation is known as shifting cultivation. And so this slash and burn agriculture or shifting cultivation have different names in different parts of the world as well as different names in different parts of our country. So here see once in the world different names are there for this shifting cultivation. In Mexico and Central America, these are known as milpa. So shifting cultivation in Mexico and Central America is known as milpa. Whereas in Venezuela, it is known as conuco. In Venezuela, it is known as conuco. In Brazil, it is known as roca. In Brazil, it is known as roca. Central Africa, Masoli. In Central Africa, shifting cultivation is known as Masol. In Indonesia, it is known as Ladang. In Indonesia, it is known as Ladang. In Vietnam, it is known as Rei. So these are all the different names of shifting cultivation in different parts of the world. So in general, whenever I teach this lesson, most of the students ask that, sir, shall we remember all these things? All the names of shifting cultivation in different parts of the world? Obvious answer is yes. You have to learn all these different names of shifting cultivation in different parts of the world because they may give in 1 mark question or they may give in objective or they may give in matching also. That's why we have to learn different names of shifting cultivation or zooming cultivation in different parts of the world. So come to India. In India also this shifting cultivation have different names in different parts of our country. In northeastern states, these shifting cultivation are slash and burn agriculture or primitive subsistence farming is known as zooming cultivation or zooming. In Manipur, it is known as Pamlo. Manipur, it is known as Pamlo. Chhattisgarh, it is known as Dipa. Andaman and Nicobar also, it is known as Dipa. And Madhya Pradesh, Bivar or Dahiya. In Madhya Pradesh, it is known as Bivar or Dahiya. In Andhra Pradesh, Podu or Penda. In Andhra Pradesh, shifting cultivation is known as Podu or Penda. In Orissa, of course, now we call it as Odisha. Now, in Odisha, it is known as Koman Bringa. Koman or Bringa. So, Western Ghats, it is known as Kumari. In Western Ghats, it is known as Kumari. Rajasthan, Walre or Valtree. Rajasthan, Walre or Valtree. Himalayan belt, Kill. In Himalayan belt, shifting cultivation is known as Kill. In Jharkhand, it is known as Kurwa. In Jharkhand, it is known as Kurwa. So, in this way, shifting cultivation have different names in different parts of the world, as well as different names are there in different parts of our country. So, these are all we have to learn by practicing these names as well as states or different countries as well as its names of shifting cultivation. Is it clear? I hope you all understood the shifting cultivation. That means primitive subsistence farming. So in primitive subsistence farming, what they are doing here, they are selecting a piece of land and they are clearing the trees by burning it, and they use the primitive tools like a digging stick, dough, hoe, etc. And they are sowing the seeds without fluffing the field, and they completely depend on monsoons. And here these people are not at all giving any inputs to cultivate the land like fertilizers, pesticides, etc. So they use the natural fertility of the soil and they produce the cereals like jowar, ragi, bajra, some other pulses for their self-consumption, not for the market. So whenever the land loses its natural fertility, these people leave the place and they shift to another place. There also the same procedure. That's why it is known as slash and burn agriculture, shifting agriculture, as well as a zooming cultivation. And already we learnt about different names in different parts of the world. So I come to the another type of farming in our country is intensive subsistence farming. Intensive subsistence farming. This type of farming is practiced in areas of high population pressure on land. So generally this is practiced in where the population density is more. What is the density of population? Last year you learnt. So the people, on an average, the people available in a particular square unit of area is known as a density. That means number of people available in a square kilometer of area is known as a density. That means this intensive subsistence farming is mostly practiced in the places where high density of population. So that's why here most of the agricultural operations are are done by manual labor, because the density of population is more, the available land is less. That is why most of the agricultural operations are done by manual labor. Of course, nowadays, even in intensive subsistence farming, the farmers are using machines like tractors, harvesters, threshers, etc. Different machines are using even in intensive subsistence farming nowadays. And they use here the farmers give high doses of biochemical inputs like fertilizers, pesticides and all. They use the irrigation facility, whether it is canal irrigation, well irrigation or bore irrigation, bore wells and all. These people may use, so it won't on it. So here in the intensive subsistence farming, here land holdings are small in nature because population density is more and area is small. So on an average in India, each family have only 1.1 hectare of land. What is a hectare? Last year you learnt in the lesson of village Rampur village economy. 1 hectare means 10,000 square meters. That means on an average in India, each family have only 1.1 hectare land. So that is available land is less. More people who depend on agriculture. So that's why pressure is more on the land because the farmers have small fragments of land. They wanted to produce more for their subsistence, for their survival. So that's why they used to give high doses of biochemical fertilizers or pesticides as well as irrigation facility and all. So in this regard, why here land sizes are less? Because law of inheritance. Law of inheritance. What is the law of inheritance? If a father or a head of the family have land, so next the same land will be divided among his sons as well as daughters. So that's why the land is divided into small fragments. That is why the land holding size is uneconomical in our country. So that's why the people have limited land holdings. These people wanted to produce more from the a small piece of land. That is why more pressure on land. So here farmers also try to give more and more inputs to maximize their productivity from that small piece of land. That's why here pressure on land is more. So this is all about intensive subsistence farming. So in India, most of the areas in our country, we are following intensive subsistence farming, like Indo-Gangetic Plain area, Eastern Coastal Plains, Western Coastal Plains. In most of the areas in our country, we are following intensive subsistence farming. I hope you understood the intensive subsistence farming. In intensive subsistence farming is mostly practiced in high densely populated areas where land holdings, the size of land holdings are less and available people are more. So that's why people wanted to produce more from the small piece of land. So they use high doses of biochemicals like fertilizers, pesticides, and they use irrigation facility, and they may use HYV, high yielding varieties of seeds to produce more from the same piece of land. So and most of the agriculture works are done by manual labor because here population density is more. So that's why labor is freely available at cheaper rates. That's why most of the agricultural operations are done by manual labor in intensive subsistence farming. Come to next, third one, commercial farming. In commercial farming, here higher doses of modern inputs like HYV, high yielding varieties of seeds, chemical fertilizers, insecticides, pesticides are used in order to obtain higher productivity. So the degree of commercialization varies from region to region. Generally, here commercial farming, if we find the difference between intensive and commercial farming, in intensive farming they produce for their consumption as well as for markets, especially regarding food grains and all. If it is in commercial farming, they mostly produce for markets, not for the self consumption. So in commercial farming, they give more and more inputs and they use the machines like tractors as well as harvesters, remaining all kinds of machines. Modern methods are following by the farmers who are cultivating commercial crops. So, and what are the examples for commercial crops like like cultivation of plantations like banana as well as turmeric, chilies, cotton. So these are all comes under commercial farming. These are all produced. The farmers cultivate these kind of crops to earn profit, not for the self consumption. So here this commerciality of the crop is vary from place to place. One example is quoted in our lesson C once. Rice is a commercial crop in Punjab and Haryana, whereas in Odisha it is a subsistence crop. Why we find difference? The same crop in one place it is a commercial crop, in another place it is a subsistence crop. Here it is commercial crop in Punjab and Haryana because there the green revolution is introduced in Punjab and Haryana. Last year you learned about green revolution technology, high yielding varieties of seeds as well as irrigation facility, optimum use of fertilizers, pesticides and all. So that's why in Punjab and Haryana they produce rice on commercial scale. At the same time in Odisha the farmers may cultivate rice or paddy for their self consumption, not on a commercial scale. So that's why the same crop is a commercial crop in one area, the same crop is a subsistence crop in other areas. So and come to other commercial crops in our country. See here banana plantations. These are all comes under commercial crops like tea, coffee, rubber, sugarcane, banana, etc. are important plantation crops. Tea in Assam and northern Bengal, coffee in Karnataka are some of the important plantation crops grown in these states. So these are all commercial crops. These are all produced for market, and they invest more and more money to get maximize the productivity. By that, the farmers may get profit. So most of these commercial crops use as a raw material for industries. Of course, some food stuff also, banana and all these are all, as well as fruits, orchards. These are all comes under food crops only, but these are growing on commercial scale. See once here bamboo plantation in northeast. So it also considered as a commercial crop because it is cultivating to get profit. So these are all comes under commercial crops. So I hope you understood the difference between these three types of crops. What are those three types of crops? Simple subsistence farming, intensive subsistence farming, as well as a commercial farming. And then come to crop pattern in India. Crop pattern in India. So in India, already we know that India is a very big country, seventh largest in the world. It is a huge country, and moreover, India is extended over 30 degrees of latitudinal as well as longitudinal. Variation is there from north to south as well as east to west. That's why we find some physical diversities in our country, like mountains, especially Himalayas, and plateau regions are there, like Chota Nagpur plateau region as well as Malwa plateau, Central Highlands, Deccan plateau region, at the same time Western Ghats, Eastern Ghats. And plain areas are there, Indo-Gangetic plain, Eastern coastal plain, Western coastal plain, Thar desert. These many, we find some physical diversities in our country. As well as we find some climatic variations, because India is extended from 8 degree 4 minutes north to 37 degree 6 minutes north latitudes. So of course India is in both the tropical zone as well as a temperate zone. So in tropical zone we all know it is that place experiences more and more temperature. So whereas the temperate, so there we find some sunny temperature, that means climate is somehow cool and all. So that's why we find climatic variations in India from place to place. In Kerala, suppose, which is very near to equator, there we find some equatorial climate, that means more rainfall as well as more temperature and humidity is also more. If you go to the Jammu and Kashmir region, where it is mostly we find snow. So because hilly terrain, Himalayan region, that's why it is mostly covered. Rainfall is less, and throughout the year we see some sort of snowfall. So if you go to the northeastern states, again here we find differences, because it is mostly it is dissected with hilly terrains and natural vegetative cover. So in this way, and western part, especially in Rajasthan, western Rajasthan, it is covered with the Thar desert. That's why in India we have different physical diversities, climatic variations and all. So because of all this, it is in one way it is an advantage to our country. So in India, almost all kinds of crops that can grow in our country, because that kind of climatic conditions as well as all varieties of soils are available in our country. Different climatic features are there, irrigation facility is there. Because of all these things, different varieties of crops which we are growing, like types of food, fiber crops, vegetables, fruits, spices, condiments, etc. These are all producing in our country. So what is a cropping pattern as well as agricultural seasons or cropping seasons in our country? In India, we have three cropping seasons are there. Those are Rabi, Kharif and Zaid. Rabi, Kharif and Zaid. These are all the words which are derived from Arabic language. Because of Islam rulers in our country, they named seasons of crops like Rabi, Kharif and Zaid. These are all derived from Arabic words. Come to the Kharif crop. So in Kharif starts with the onset of monsoons. Kharif crop starts with the onset of monsoons. So here cropping pattern in India has three cropping seasons. They are Rabi, Kharif and Zaid. So come to Kharif. Kharif season sown with onset of monsoon in different parts of our country and harvest in September and October. So in Kharif crop season starts with onset of monsoon. Last year in 9th class we learned about rainfall, especially monsoon burst that takes place in different parts of our country. Monsoons first enters into Andaman and Nicobar Islands, later Kerala, and then it spread to central India and goes towards east. It is all about Arabian Sea branch of southwest monsoon and Bay of Bengal branch of southwest monsoon gives rainfalls to northeastern states and spread to central India and go to northern and western part of India. So that's why, so rainy season is somehow a little vary from place to place. So based on its rainy season, that means in June and July especially. So Kharif season starts in June and July. It's depend upon its rainfall, onset of monsoon. And generally harvest may takes place in sowing that takes place in June and July, harvesting that takes place in September and October. Here and there, based on its duration of crop, we may find some sort of differences. What are the important crops that we grow in Kharif crops? So important crops are in Kharif crops are paddy. Paddy we all know, rice, maize, What is maize? In our local language, we call it as a mokkajonna. As jovar. What is jovar? Jonnalu. Bajra. Bajra means sajjalu. What is the meaning of bajra? Sajjalu. And then tur means like a red gram. Tur means a red gram, which is also known as arhar. Moong. Moong means what we can say green gram, pesalu. Urad. Urad means black gram, minumulu. Cotton, anyhow you know, jute, groundnut and soya bean. These are all the important crops that we grow in Kharif season. And some of the most important rice growing regions are Assam, West Bengal, coastal regions of Odisha, AP, Tamil Nadu, Kerala and Maharashtra. Particularly the Konkan coast. Konkan coast means Maharashtra, Karnataka, Goa and Kerala coast. That's what we call it as a Konkan coast. And along with UP and Bihar. And recently paddy has also become an important crop of Punjab and Haryana. In states like Assam, West Bengal, Odisha, 3 crops of paddy are grown in a year. Those are named as As, Aman and Bora. See once again, in the states like Assam, West Bengal and Odisha, 3 crops of a paddy that grow in 1 year, those are known as As, Aman and Bora. Suppose in AP also we produce 2 crops, 2 rice crops in a year. So that locally we call it as a Salva and Dalva. Sarva and Dalva. 2 crops. 2 paddy crops that grow in a year in our country. Suppose, in our state. Like that in Assam and West Bengal, they produce 3 paddy crops in a year. Those are known as As, Aman and Bora. Is it clear regarding Kharif crops? In Kharif crops starts with the onset of monsoons, generally June or July, based on its location as well as onset of monsoons. So these crops, this is the sowing period. These crops harvesting that takes place in September or October. So generally these crops, the important crops that we grow in Kharif season are paddy, maize, jowar, bajra, ragi, arhar or tur means red gram, moong means what we can say green gram, urad, black gram, cotton, jute, groundnut and soya bean. And then where we grow and all we learned. And come to the Rabi crop. So Rabi crop, generally the sowing season for Rabi crop is in winter from October to December. And harvesting that takes place in summer from April to June. So Rabi crop sow in winter, especially in October to December, and harvest may takes place from April to June. It's depend upon duration of its crop and all. So Kharif crop, it sow in June and July and harvesting takes place in September and October. Rabi crop, we are sowing in October to December and harvesting that takes place in April to June. So the important crops that we grow in Rabi crop season are wheat, barley, peas, I think so, batani, gram means a different Bengal gram and all, and mustard. Mustard in our local language we call it as avalu, used in curries and all. And then different states such as Punjab, Haryana, Himachal Pradesh, Jammu and Kashmir, Uttarakhand and Western UP are main Rabi crop producing states. Because here wheat is the main crop. In Kharif, what is the main crop? Rice or paddy is the main crop. Here in Rabi, which is the main crop? Wheat wheat is the main crop. That's why you notice that mostly northern states, Punjab, Haryana, Himachal Pradesh, Jammu and Kashmir, Uttarakhand, and western UP are main Rabi crops producing states. And availability of precipitation during winter months due to the western temperate cyclones help in the success of these crops. So last year you learnt that western disturbances. Did you remind? Western disturbances. That means western cyclones that form in Mediterranean Sea. Where is Mediterranean Sea? Mediterranean Sea is situated between Europe and Africa. So these cyclones which move towards India and it gives some little showers in northern and northwestern part of India due to cyclones from Mediterranean Sea, which is a boon to the wheat crop, which helps for the early ripening of wheat and other Rabi crops in northern India. And then the success of Green Revolution in Punjab, Haryana, and western UP and parts of Rajasthan has also been an important factor in the growth of Rabi crops. Here some pictures are given. See once like wheat, mustard, as well as peas. So this is all about Kharif, Rabi seasons. And between Rabi and Kharif crop, one more short season is also there. That what we call it as a Zaid season. So it is known as summer season because during summer months we cultivate some kinds of crops. That what we call it as a Zaid season or Zaid crops. Crops produced in Zaid season are watermelon, muskmelon, cucumber, vegetables, and other fodder crops. So these are all three cropping seasons in our country. What are those three cropping seasons? Kharif season, Rabi season, and Zaid season. I hope you all understood this concept. Just to recapitulate once regarding today's topic, and by that we can conclude our class today. Today we learned about agriculture. So agriculture is the word which is derived from two Latin words, ager and culture. Ager means land or field, culture means cultivate. So what is the definition that what we discussed for agriculture? The science and art of producing crops and livestock for economic purpose is known as agriculture. So in India, agriculture is very much important for our country because it is providing food to approximately 140 crore people in our country. That's why it is important. And agriculture is not only providing food to us, it is providing raw materials to industries, especially for agro-based industries. And we are getting some foreign exchange by exporting agricultural produce like coffee, tea, spices, cotton, and so on. And especially we discussed about cropping seasons as well as types of agricultural practices. So three different types of agricultural practices are following in our country. So on what basis we classify these types of farming? Based on its especially by taking its what we can say area, what kind of inputs they are using, for what purpose they are producing the different crops. Based on these parameters we classify the types of agriculture into three. What are they? Simple subsistence farming, primitive subsistence farming, and commercial farming. In primitive subsistence farming, how they cultivate? These are mostly practiced in hilly areas as well as forest areas by the tribal people. These people select a piece of land and they clear the trees by burning it, and they use primitive tools like stick, as well as digging stick, hoe, dough, etc. And they sow the seeds without ploughing the fields, and they won't use any irrigation facility. They completely depend on monsoons, that means rainfalls only. And they grow the crops like cereals like jowar, ragi, bajra and other small pulses and all. They mostly produce it for their self consumption, not for the market. And they won't apply any sort of inputs to raise the crops. They use the natural fertility of the soil. Whenever it loses its natural fertility, these people leave that place and move to other place, there the same procedure. That's why it is known as a slash and burn agriculture, Jhumi cultivation. And it has its different names in different parts of the world as well as different parts of our country. That what already we discussed. And the second type of agricultural practice in our country is intensive subsistence farming. In intensive subsistence farming, mostly practiced in especially densely populated regions. Here population density is more, the available land is less. That is why more pressure on land. Why more less land is available? Due to law of inheritance and all. Here farmers give all kinds of modern inputs like biological things like fertilizers, pesticides. They use irrigation, HIV seeds and all. But most of the agricultural operations are done by manual labor because here population density is more. Nowadays, of course, in this intensive subsistence farming is also farmers are using machines. And then we learned about commercial farming. That means it is on large scale by investing more money, and they produce for market and they produce for profits. Especially plantation crops like tea, coffee, rubber, remaining all crops comes under commercial crops. These crops are mostly cultivated by farmers for profit. And three cropping seasons also we learned: Kharif, Rabi and Zoyar. Kharif season starts with onset of monsoon and different types of crops which grow in Kharif season, that what we discussed. And Rabi season, Kharif starts in June and July, harvest takes place in September and October. And important crops, that what we discussed. In Rabi season also the same. It starts in sowing starts in October to December, harvest takes place in April and June, between April and June. Different crops, that what we discussed. And the crop season between Rabi and Zoyar is Rabi and Kharif is known as Zoyar. We call it as a summer season. Like watermelon, muskmelon, cucumber, these are all grow in this season, like animal fodder and all. So you have to learn the questions, especially about the importance of agriculture. A second question is three different types of agricultural practices in our country, types of farming in our country, all three. They may give question as essay on any one type of question. Suppose write a essay on primitive subsistence farming, write a note on intensive subsistence farming, write a so and so on commercial farming. So these three you have to learn for 5 marks questions, and explain about different cropping seasons in our country. That what we discussed about Kharif, Rabi and Zoyar. This is another questions. So these are all the questions you have to write down in CWork as well as you start the learning process. Okay, thank you.